بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته كيف حالكم؟ الحمد لله الحمد لله. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, we are in the section of congregational prayer or prayer in Jama'ah, Salah in Jama'ah, and the author writes ويجوز أن يأتم الحر بالعبد والبالغ بالمراهق ولا تصح قدوة رجل بامرأة ولا قارئ بأمي. So the author says that it is permissible for someone who is free to be led by a slave. Now, of course, this is classic fiqh. We don't really have many people who are slaves, but we repeat it to honor the fiqh. And another important point here, and for the one who is mature or baligh, to perform salah behind, and the author says, behind someone who is considered al-murahiq. And we use the term an adolescent. So what is an important point here? We are reflecting on who qualifies to lead the jama'ah, to be the imam, right? And so in the second part, we are saying that it is permissible within the Shafi'i school of thought, in particular, that the imam can be someone who is mura'iq, not having obtained bulugh yet. But as the author explains, it is someone that is approaching puberty, but has tamyiz, or is able to differentiate between right and wrong. So in the Shafi'i school of thought, you can have, in reality, a child lead salah. It is permissible. And this is based on the hadith that we find in Bukhari, and Amr bin Salama radiallahu an, كان يؤم قومه وهو ابن 6 أو 7 سنين. In the hadith here that we have in Bukhari, Amr bin Salama radiallahu an, he led salah and he was only 6 or 7 years old, and people stood behind him. So the condition for a child to lead salah and for an adult to stand behind that individual is that the child must be approaching bulugh, and they must have or approaching puberty, and they must have tamyiz, a very important quality. They must be able to differentiate between right and wrong. And then the author also says, وَلَا تَصِحْ قُدْوَةُ رَجُلٍ بِإِمْرَأَةٍ, that a man may not be led by a female in salah. So this is the agreement across the board in fiqh, that a lady may not lead salah for a man or a boy, right? In the Shafi'i madhab, as a side point, there is permissibility for a lady to lead ladies where there is no man or boy present and where the voices will not be heard. So particularly in the Shafi'i madhab, if there's a group of ladies together and they want to perform salah in jama'ah, and there is no male, no boy, or no man, then a lady may lead the salah. But important point for the ladies who engage in this, which is recommended, is that the lady will not stand in front of a congregation. So there will only be a single saf, and the lady who is fulfilling imamah, she is the female imam, she stands in the middle of the front saf. And then if there's only one more lady, that lady joins on the right-hand side, right next to her, not behind her, next to her. And any other ladies, they fill the sides of the saf. So a lady who does lead jama'ah will do it in one saf. Just a point for the sisters, inshallah, if there is no male present. And this is within the Shafi'i madhab. And then the last part, and we'll conclude on this, my dear brothers and sisters, وَلَا قَارِئٌ بِأُمِّيٍّ. And now we go into what does this state. And the person who can read Surah Fatiha correctly should not be led by someone who cannot read it correctly. So this is a very specific definition in fiqh, because your Surah Fatiha, as we understand, is critical for your Salah. And so when we determine who gets to be Imam in a group, so let's talk about this practically. You are a group of friends and you are at the beach where you are traveling, and now it is time for Salah and you have to determine who will be Imam. So naturally, we consider Islamic education, we consider knowledge of the Quran. Those are default requirements. In the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that aqra'uhum, that the most versed or well versed with the knowledge of Islam and the capacity to read the Quran would be your Imam. So this is the, by extension, who becomes Imam in whatever community, whatever it might be. It is based on the capacity of understanding the laws of Islam and the capacity to be able to read the Quran appropriately. So if you are in your gathering, you then look at who is able to, this is your yardstick. Surah Fatiha, first requirement, must be recited perfectly by this individual, right? Next requirement, the person must have some knowledge of the Quran. So, amount of surahs, fine. Third requirement, and so often you get, who do you put in front? A hafiz over someone knowledgeable of fiqh. So the ruling is the most knowledgeable of fiqh stands in front, because if a mistake is made, you need the person knowledgeable in order to correct it. So you look for someone in your gathering. Okay, can you read? Have you maybe attended madrasa, Islam school, khalwab, You look at that, and that person then moves to the front to become your imam. You can also consider seniority and age. You can also consider if the person has, and these are side views in fiqh. For example, you might honor a hajj, someone who is a haji, because that means that they've maybe accomplished in life spiritually. These are some of the side points that may be considered in fiqh. And with that, inshallah, we conclude. Wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi walhamdulillah rabbil alamin.